to Keto Weekly Update with your host, Alycia from Keto Upgrade.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. To start off with, unfortunately, the progress has been even slow, if not completely negative, because I gained another 2 pounds. I've been weighing myself every Monday, and Mondays probably aren't the best day because usually weekends, it used to be a complete opposite for me. I used to do well on Mondays and Tuesdays and do bad at work. But my Saturday and Sunday wasn't any worse than any other day because I didn't go out. I was at work. So most people, they party on the weekends and then work Monday through Friday. And I never used to do that because I worked usually Wednesday through Sunday. So now I'm going out Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes. Not all the time. But it was my friend's birthday last Saturday and we went to Jasmine, which is a Thai restaurant. And it's really hard to eat anything Asian that is low carb. That's probably the only restaurant there isn't a workaround for keto. Most places you can get a steak, you can get a burger, you can get wings, you know, there's a lot of different things you can get, salads. Asian places, even if you get a salad, it usually has some kind of sugary dressing on it. So, I went better carbs, I had brown rice instead of jasmine rice. But it's still carbs. So I definitely am not fat adapted still, and I don't believe I'm in ketosis yet, which is something I really should test. I have a glucose and keto meter. I use Keto Mojo. But that's just another thing to add to a list of things to do, and I'm just so many things. I did measure on Monday, so I'm hoping to see some change next Monday if I can remember to measure again. And that will hopefully be a little bit of motivation for me to, stay on track, which, either way, I'm going to lose it. It's just a matter of when and how fast. I know it's going to happen. But, yeah, that little extra motivation might help a little bit. Another thing, things that were different from last time to this time. I'm used to standing 8 hours a day at work, if not 12 hours a day. So 8 to 12 hours a day and walking around the whole time. And I'd sit down for maybe 30 minutes at the most. And now I move around. I do dishes. I, rock him to sleep. I have to stand and move around with him. But nowhere near 8 hours, that's for sure. And I'm sitting on a computer most of the day. So, until I get back into baking, that is. And then still, I don't think I'm going to be working 5 days a week. Baking? I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But, so my activity level is way down from last time I did this. And even when we were in quarantine, we'd get out and do hikes and stuff. But it seems like it's a lot harder to get stuff in right now. And it's really still cold here in Buffalo, New York. We had code blue again the other day because it got down real low. So it hasn't been nice enough for me to take Van out for walks or anything like that yet. So hopefully when the weather warms up a little bit, I'll be able to do that. But I really should be incorporating something into my daily routine. It's just so hard when there's so many other things I can be working on. Like editing these videos or experimenting or working on the bakery downstairs or so many things. So I just gotta remember to maybe take some time for myself here and there. It's really hard for me to do though. I've always been a workaholic and never really took the time out to do. I did it once before where I exercised for a whole year straight pretty much, 3-4 times a week. But I was also on phentamine, so that helped. But yeah, not this time for sure. So this is week 5, going into week 5 here. So last week, I stopped having my fatty coffee in the morning where I use the Perfect Keto coffee creamer. I did want to give some notes on this coffee creamer. I do enjoy it. It is dairy free in case any of you, I know a couple of my subscribers are dairy free. So this is for you if you want something dairy free for your coffee. It is grass fed, which I don't know why you would need to be grass fed because there's no milk in it. Dairy free, grass fed collagen. So it's not vegan. Well, it says it on the nutrition label. hydrolyzed bovine collagen, 4 grams. And then it has the medium chain triglycerides, oil powder from coconut. And then it says other ingredients: coconut cream powder, natural flavors, sea salt, gum acacia, stevia leaf extract. Contains hazelnut and coconut. So if you are allergic to tree nuts, which that's a whole nother can of worms because it's a pain in the butt. If you say you're allergic to nuts, it can be so many different things. And I stick away from almond, but then there's people like, well, I'm allergic to tree nuts, which is coconut. But my mom's boyfriend's allergic to peanuts and tree nuts, but he's allergic to legumes, so beans and stuff too. But he can have like macadamia nut milk. I don't know. It's very confusing. This was good in my coffee. Like I mentioned in the other week's update, I drink cold coffee, so I have to mix it into a little bit of hot coffee. I don't think it would mix in cold. I don't think I actually tried it, but I've tried mixing the MCT powder in, and that's a pain. It did have a little bit of a powdery coating on your tongue, which it was fine with me, but some people are really sensitive to, textures and stuff like that. So it might not be for you if you don't want that in your coffee. But I realized that if you want to do bulletproof coffee, you can't just use this, because bulletproof coffee has a lot more fat added to it. This is only 1.5 grams of total fat for 1 scoop, which is what you're supposed to put in there. And this is 2 carbs and 4 grams of protein. So this is going to cut out 2 of my carbs. Plus, I was using the peanut butter MCT oil, which I think has 2 or 4 carbs in it also. So cutting that out, I think, will help me get into ketosis, because I was probably going over my 20 to 25 grams of carbs a day, especially because I haven't been doing it. Like, once you've been on keto for a long time, and been doing strict keto for a long time, you can tend to get away with eating a little bit more on the net carb side. But if you're just starting out, you really need to keep it strict under that 25 grams of net carbs to get into ketosis. But once you're fat adapted and in ketosis for a long period of time, you can tend to stretch that a little bit more, especially if it's like vegetable carbs and stuff like that, like not like, processed carbs, stuff like that. So with not having my morning coffee anymore, I am now fasting. I'm still starving. Right now, I am so hungry. It is like 11 o'clock, and I haven't eaten since yesterday at 8. So if I wait until noon, that's 16 hours. I've been having my Zip Fizz, which is like an energy drink that I really like. It's a little bit better for keto than other things. I've been having that around 11:30ish. It's like, because my doctor told me to sleep better at night, I should have my caffeine before noon, which is really hard to do. But I'm trying to stick to that. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I go to bed at 8 o'clock, and if I drink a caffeinated beverage at 2 o'clock, that's only 6 hours. I start getting ready for bed at 8. I don't go to bed at 8, but like I get into the routine, and I usually feed him his last bottle at 9:30 and then go to sleep. But so I'm trying to do that, trying to fast. It's day 3 of fasting, so I'm still really hungry. I'm still not fat adapted yet, but I need to do something to kickstart this weight loss a little bit, because if I start eating in the morning, I just want to keep eating and eating and eating, and it's not good. So I realized that one of the reasons it was easier for me to lose weight before too is because I was just busy at work. I always had something to do, and your hands are usually pretty dirty in a kitchen, like you're prepping something that you have gloves on, you're not eating, and the only time I would really eat is after 4 o'clock. From like 4 to 5, like we would have our staff meal. I usually grab something, or I'd eat something that I brought in, my bread, or a coffee cake or something that I brought. And after that, I would maybe pick some like on the line as I was working, but not very often. And so I tend to eat out of boredom when I'm at home. Like, I'm not hungry, but I'm just bored. And it's also a comfort thing for me. So being really stressed out, I'm just like, I just want to eat. I just want food. I want yummy tasting things because it makes me feel better. So I know my habits. I know I gotta break them. It's very difficult to do. And then another thing that was different, I wore a face mask at work all the way up until my wedding. I think the mask mandate went first. It was people that were vaccinated got to not wear masks in the restaurant industry, or at least in the back of the house. And I didn't get vaccinated. So I had to keep my mask on the whole time until face masks were completely stopped being worn. And even then, that's when I was going to get married. So I went and wore my mask even though I didn't have to. And, in the months leading up to my wedding, because he proposed in October, at the end of October. So November, December, January, and February is like flu season. So I kept my mask on pretty much everywhere I went and at work. I was a little bit more lax on it, but I still wore it. And I did end up getting COVID still. If you saw my low carb bread video, which everybody has seemed to see because it is my most watched video, I had COVID during that video shoot, and I got it because I was off that week from work and I wasn't wearing my mask. And I went and saw my friend Christina, and she got it from her people at work, who they all wear masks because she works in an allergy clinic. So they all wore masks, the N95 masks, all day long, and she still got it from someone at work. And then I got it from her. She was my maid of honor. And we got together to make my bouquets for my wedding. So I got COVID from her, and then my bridal shower was canceled, and then I shot the bread video, I think, that Monday. So I was like 5 days in, and I thought I was feeling fine. And then I realized how brain fogged I felt, and it was a horrible video. And I will eventually do a new video on that. Once my bakery's all kind of set up, I'm going to do another one. But it's never going to get as many views as that first one, because that's the one that has over 100,000 views. So it gets recommended more because people have watched it more. So I don't know what my new video will even get seen by, but I will eventually do that. But again, off on a tangent. So I was wearing masks the whole time I was working in a restaurant. So it was a lot harder to pick and eat at things when you have a mask on. That's another thing that was completely different last time I did keto. Other than that, this next week coming up will be, hopefully, I was supposed to work all day today, but I had to take Van to a doctor's appointment. So we're testing out Grandma taking him 2 days a week so that I can get some editing done and some work in the bakery done. So I'm going to be trying to get work done on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll be starting to upload soon. And yeah, so it's March 9th. I definitely wanted to be back into it by now, but I'm going to try and get a catalog of things together and uploaded so that way I have some breathing room to get new content done. We'll see. But you're going to be seeing this way in the future, so by that point I should be all set, I'm hoping. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Keto Weekly Update. As always, let me know in the comments how your journey is going. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing and hitting that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll be back with more keto videos. Bye, guys.